I am very nearly out of homebrew. Right here are my 2 kegs. Got a little flashlight here to see if putting a little light on the subject helps, but that is a ball on the outside of the keg. Inside of there is a magnet floating on the surface of the beer. Over here there's another one. So I don't know what I've got, probably little over half of a keg, tops. That's not good. So, it's time to brew, and I will be brewing this product here from Northern Brewer. Looks like Biere de Mars. And I guess that French gets spoken in, should I call it Belgia? Sound like somebody who ought to be on Twitter. But Belgium, right? So you have this Belgian ale, and it uses a French Saison, which is, I guess, how it gets its name. Over here is my starter. It's been going for 2 days. Got a nice creamy mixture. It's no longer fermenting. It is ready to go. Back over here. Let's see. Get this thing open. And inside we have French Striegelspalt. Alrighty then. What's the other one? Okay, another one. 2 ounces of French Striegelspalt. Best guess how to pronounce that. Aries grains, I don't think there is such a thing. Maybe it'll say what it is on the sheet. Here we have Briess Pilsen Light. Okay. Dry malt extract. And let's try this one. This is Maris Otter, as if I needed any more Maris Otter in my world. And here we have Pilsen malt extract Sir. Oh, that's what this says. Pilsen malt. Duh. Now, wait a minute. Okay, who can explain this to me? They've sent me 1 pound of dry malt extract, Pilsen, and they've sent me 3.15 pounds of liquid malt extract. Why didn't they leave this out and just give me more dry malt extract? There has to be a reason. As far as I know, the only difference between this and this is this still has some water in it. Which means that it's shipping. They paid to ship water. And in this case, they didn't. Why didn't they just use dry malt extract? Who knows? Maybe one's a late edition and they were just making something easy. This is a typical instruction sheet from Northern Brewer, and it's terrible. Instructions from Northern Brewer are just ridiculous. They say way too much. And I'm not going to go through it, except I'm going to tell you what the grains are. They are 10 ounces Belgian Cara, 4 ounces aromatic malt, whatever, 4 ounces Franco-Belgi's Kiln Coffee. Okay. I'm starting to get my water heated up. Got this on high. There's 1.7 liters in there. I'm going to switch to gallons soon, or I'll go interchangeably. Got 1.7 liters heating up in there, just to make it quick. But I've run across an annoying instruction in this. Let's just take a look at this. Pour crushed grain into supplied mesh bag and tie the open end in a knot. Steep for 20 minutes or until water reaches 170 Fahrenheit. Steep for 20 minutes or until the water reaches 170 Fahrenheit? What do they think? I'm putting the grain in there while I'm heating it up? That's really kind of annoying. So, I'm just going to heat the water up to, I don't know, around 160, 165. Put the grain in for 20 minutes, and then from there I'll be off. This is my favorite way of dealing with specialty grains. I put the little sack, the sock, whatever, inside of a container like this one, pour it in there, Kind of lift it up, give it a nice tie at the very top. And without any mess at all, because of using this container to pour it into, I can get my grains going. Just a quick note about sanitization. I don't go crazy with it, but part of it is sanitizing my sink, cleaning my sink. Now I've got one of these white porcelain sinks, and the way I sanitize it is to use porcelain cleaner. In this case, it's being sold as toilet bowl cleaner, which is, those things are porcelain, right? And it has an active ingredient of 2.4% sodium hypochlorite, which is, as the label says, the active ingredient in Clorox. So this is one very sanitized sink, and I also wipe up with these Lysol wipes the counters and everything else that could possibly interfere with my beer. The time right now is 10:43, so I've been at this just about 45 minutes. And I've pulled the grain out, I've rinsed it with a quart of hot water, so now my boil size is up to 2.75 gallons. Just trying to raise the temperature. I guess that'll go quicker if I put the lid on. And I've got my French Strieselspalt. That's tough to say. I'm probably saying it wrong. But 1.5 ounces here for a 60-minute boil. 0.5 ounces here for 5 minutes. 12:01, so it's been 2 hours already. And I just added my Maris Otter. I guess I should probably start the timer even though it's not up to boiling. It's got to be close, right? So I'll set it for 10 minutes, and when the 10 minutes is done, I'll add the rest of my hops, which will be in there another 5 minutes. 12:16. Got my hops out, just sort of straining so I don't drip all across the room when I move them. Still at a boil, sort of. About to put in my wort chiller. Now I used a spreadsheet to make my math easy, and it's telling me that my desired wort temperature, based on how much wort I have, once I added everything in and rinsed all the grain and all that, I ended up with about 3.2 gallons of hot wort, which means 1.8 gallons of cold water, and by cold I mean 0 degrees, is going to be added to get down to the desired wort temperature, or the desired final temperature of 20 degrees. So my desired wort temperature, I need to cool this down to 31.3 degrees. And that should happen fairly quickly. So now, other than cleanup, which will be short, I am done. 12:35, took 2 hours and 35 minutes. I cooled my wort down just a little bit too much. Got it down to about 30 degrees instead of 31.3. So to deal with that, I didn't quite I put it up to just below 5 gallons. Topped it off with the 0 degree water. And then I added some room temperature water so that it would be about right. And then I poured my 2 liters of starter into there. So now it's up to, well, but actually before that, let me point out that I took a sample before pitching the yeast. And according to this, it's at 1.060 specific gravity when it should be at 1.054. I'm wondering if maybe they gave me a little more dried malt extract than it actually said on the label. But, so that's it. Added my 2 liters, knocked the volume up to there, which is fine because I want 5 gallons to go in the keg. And down here at the bottom is going to be a lot of trub, so it's off and running. There's another brew. By the way, after a previous video, somebody asked in a comment about this shirt. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, but that is Agnes Moorehead. She was the mother on Bewitched. Well, not the mother, I guess the grandmother, but Samantha Stevens' mother. And this is made to look like a Motorhead shirt. A friend of a friend on Facebook made some of these shirts, and I picked a couple up because I thought they were kind of funny. It kind of trolls people who like Motorhead, and I like Motorhead. But I think that people just don't quite know what to think about it, what the intent of it is. And to me, that's kind of funny. All right, take a look at this. I was just about to keg this. Look at the krausen, how high it went up on there. That must have been one violent fermentation. And I don't know if it's, you know, when I lifted this up here, I think maybe the beer shook up and down and kind of washed some of the yeast off of the collar up there, and it just turned it into a really cloudy beer. Maybe it was cloudy before I lifted it up, I don't know, but I'm going to cold crash it and see what happens. Got it in my homemade cooler. Today is February 9th. This was brewed on the 25th, so I guess that's, what, half a month? 15 days? And it's about to be cold crashed, I guess. It's definitely going to be cooled down. Refrigerated. Is that what cold crash means? Why did we have to have a brand new term, cold crash? There's lots of weird terms like that in brewing. What's sparging? I know that when I use specialty grains, I rinse them off after they've steeped. Is that sparging, or is it just rinsing? I think sparging probably means something. I'm a little less certain about cold crash. I think I'm just cooling it down. It's been 2 days under 30-something pounds of pressure. Pounds per square inch. Why we use those particular units, I do not know. Took the pressure off, then hooked it up to the main CO2 tank, and that seems like a lot of pressure. Which means it is very well carbonated. Well, this could be a problem. Might take a minute. Okay, now the foam went down fairly quickly, and I was able to keep filling it up. The fact that the foam went down quickly may have something to do with its final gravity, which was 1.008. Usually, almost everything I make comes out to be 1.010, so maybe there's a few less sugars in this. It is definitely hazy. I wish I'd used a Whirlflock tablet. Oh, wow. If I was in a bar, I would not order this a second time. And I don't know, there may be an off flavor in there. I don't know how to recognize off flavors. But boy, it is sure not what I expected. It's definitely drinkable. I don't know how to characterize it. So if any of you have ever had, what is it, Biere de Mars, one of these from Northern Brewer before, and you think it has an unexpected taste, or a taste that you might not expect if you're doing homebrew, like maybe it's sort of an exotic beer or something like that, let me know in the comments, because I'm not sure what I'm tasting here. Okay, what you see here is my Marisotter Cascade Smash, my second one, if you've seen those videos, which means I'm not having a second glass of the Biere de Mars. And the reason why is because I realized something about it. It started out at 1.060 specific gravity and ended at 1.008. This means it's 6.83%. Now, I typically don't make beer that strong, and that strength may have something to do with why it tastes the way it does. I still think there's something else going on in there, but that has to definitely be a part of it, tasting the alcohol in it. And I'm not really, I work tomorrow. I'm not real big on having that high of an alcohol beer tonight. That's something I'm just going to have to watch as this keg empties. So there's that. Who knows, by the time the keg's empty, I might love it. Say goodbye, Ariel.